I'd like to do Max Payne, but have we got time for the news? It's only 4 minutes.
Well, I don't know. Have you got a 4-minute review?
No, because no, I can't do anything. In fact, I can start doing Max Payne.
Do something that doesn't matter.
No, well, nothing matters enormously.
Well, what can you fit in?
I'm going to do Max Payne, because otherwise we're going to run out of time. Okay, that's
but look, Justine is here, and she got a coat on.
Well, then why don't...
That means she can't be late. Look, she's never
can't be late today. See, that's your visual symbol.
All right, I'm going to start the Max Payne. We might get the second of it. So here's the thing: you did the interview with
John Moore,
director, and John Moore, who's a very garrulous and kind of jobbing workman like kind of guy. He's on he made that the Omen remake, if I'm not mistaken. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, there's lots of there's like the making of thing on the Omen thing, which includes him storming around being cross at things not arriving on time in a way which is very entertaining. So, but intense, according to Mark Wahlberg. Did Mark Wahlberg use the word intense once in that interview? Did he use it twice, or was it in fact 15 times? In fact, Mark Wahlberg said the word intense so many times that actually you said intense back to him.
I did, yeah.
He said, is it very intense? And it's intense. How intense is it? It's very intense. Really? Intensely intense? Well...
See, you can't have degrees of intensity, can you? It's either
you can have intense intensity, or you can have not very intense intensity.
And the movie is either intense or it isn't.
The old Goon Show joke, it was a circus and the excitement was intense. Ha. So anyway, so the story is... I mean, funnily enough, from that interview, what I would have gathered was it was a movie which made reference to Bullet, which made reference to Mad Max, which made reference to, Dirty Harry and The Exterminator, all films which I like. It is a film based on a computer game, but clearly not taking its inspiration from that, but cinematic inspiration. It's got demons in it. It's got flying, demonic fiery angels. It's got quasi-religious subtext. It's got a apparently redemptive theme in amidst all these things, right? And I'm thinking, great, fun. And also Mark Wahlberg, who incidentally I'm a big fan of and have been ever since Boogie Nights, which he was really, really terrific. Recently Oscar nominated for his supporting role in The Departed, in which he was indeed really, really good. Hard to imagine that long time ago he was a pop star who was famous for running around in Calvin Klein adverts in his pants, right? So all these things,
all that is right.
All these things going for it, but in that there was a crucial phrase, right, which was
intense.
No, based on a computer game. You see how I skipped over it?
I knew you wouldn't get past that.
Based on a computer game.
Based on a computer game is true.
Shall we look at the history of films based on a computer game? Super Mario Brothers, utter rubbish.
Bob Hoskins?
Yeah, blimey. Even by Bob Hoskins' variable accent talents, his version of the Super was really blimey Charlie.
Bob doesn't really do lots of accents.
Doesn't really know. He does the same
London
accent all the time. He does. Well, he actually does London, and then a London bloke pretending that he's from New York, or in this case, a London bloke pretending he's Super Mario. I think so. Rubbish. Street Fighter. Rubbish, and really badly dressed rubbish. We're going back a long way, obviously. So we come from Doom, right? Rubbish. Violent rubbish, but rubbish. And then the more arty end of it, Silent Hill, directed by Christoph Gans, who I like very much. Rubbish. Incoherent, arty, pootling, rubbish, based on a computer game. Rubbish. The main thing is, computer games don't have stories, right? You know why they don't have stories? Because they're computer games. And you are the narrative helmsperson, right? You are driving the character through the computer game. Yeah? So...
Have you played this computer game?
What? Have I played any computer game?
Well, so how do you know it hasn't got a story?
No, well, computer games, okay? Yeah. And what your man there, John Moore, said is, computer games, probably. But the thing with this is different because...
It has got a story.
It has got a story.
So maybe you should play it.
Okay. So maybe you should find... Okay? So it's got a story. So the film's going to have a story, right? Silent Hill, incidentally, I was told, had story,
yes,
coming out of its ears. I watched the film. No, it didn't. Somebody's in a car, they've crashed, fall asleep, wake up, snowing. And
that doesn't sound very scary.
That's it. And then the whole thing, running around, and there's a child there, snowing some more. It's a ghost child. I'm stuck in it here. I'm a ghost. It's finished. End of game.
Is that a plot?
Player one. That's it. That's the plot of Silent Hill, right?
Yeah.
Plot of Max Payne. He's really intense.
Have we got a clip that shows how intense
We've got to have a clip here how intense he is. Right? Oh, incidentally, Marky Mark, right? And also Beau Bridges, a man who has in the past played not only Colonel Tom Parker, but also Richard Nixon, the two most evil men in the 20th century. Wow. Brilliant! Okay, here's a clip.
Alex. Dispatch couldn't raise him. They found out from Krista where he'd gone. First unit got you in time. But Alex was dead.
I got 6 shots off. I hit something. You gotta check the hospital. You gotta check her.
I'm not a cop anymore, Max. I came to see about you.
You wanted to tell me something.
Listen, anything you can remember will help. They got nothing for leads. The whole force has you pegged as the prime suspect.
Yeah, you tell them where to find me.
Wake starts in an hour. I'll pass that along. What do you think you're doing?
Paying my respects.
There's only one word for that.
Intense. I thought that was.
It is. It's intensely intense, isn't it? The intensity is intense.
Does it lighten up at any stage then?
No. Darkens down a lot. Lots of people running around shooting things. It's like Wanted. You know Wanted, for which the review was unwanted, with Angelina Jolie hanging off the front of a car whilst firing
with
guns.
The loom of death.
With the loom of death. That's what it was. It really was.
That's what it was called.
Yes, so come over here to the loom of death, standing next door to the trouser press of coincidence.
I loved it. It was terrific.
A washing machine of misfortune. Well, fine. It's
Thanks,
like
Humphrey Littleton.
Thank you. And you think you're sitting there watching it, thinking, I know that it wants to have all this cinematic heritage, and it wants to have a story, and it wants to be intense. But in fact, it is just Marky Mark. Okay, he's a hollow character. His whole life has been hollowed out, and you know what? He walks around looking completely blank-faced. Is all the visuals that you were talking about, the use of the phantom? Is it called the phantom? The apparition?
Yeah, it's the device that John Moore uses to film. It's like a hard drive with a lens.
A hard drive with a lens takes 1,000 frames a second, and the result is intense and quite dull. And it's like watching it's not even like watching the Wachowskis. It's like watching the Wachowskis. John Moore was quite right, incidentally, when he said you're never going to see the Matrix techniques done better than in the Matrix. And then you get to somebody like Timur Bekmambetov, who comes out of Russia. Timur Bekmambetov.
Oh, he's the guy who did
exactly.
Wanted.
Night Watch, Day Watch, Wanted. Fine. And that's kind of like a second-rate form of what the Wachowskis are doing. And now you get this. It's like, well, it's a little bit like all those Keanu Reeves movies that look like that, and it's a little bit like Silent Hill, which looks a bit like that, and it's also a little bit like Wanted in that the camera is completely in love with the guns, and if you don't believe that, wait until you see the end credits, which is literally a bunch of guns, just guns floating around in slow motion, discharging gun cases and bullets in a way, whilst and you think, you know what, the problem is, I'm not interested in the character, I don't really care about the plot at all. I know that he's meant to be intense, and he's meant to be really messed up, and he's really intensely messed up, but it is just Mark Wahlberg walking around in a bunch of, snowy stuff.
Or snow, as it's known.
Snow, and occasionally being chased by a large bat-winged angel.
Sounds quite fun.
No, but I know, but it sounds like good fun, doesn't it? But it isn't. It's like End of Days, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Arnold Schwarzenegger, End of the World, Revelations, Ray! No, boy. Right? This, you go, yeah, Marky Mark, Bo Bridges, that guy, the thing with the what? Wake me up.